What's up, guys? This is Chris from Warrior Soul Apparel. That's my dog. Uh, back over here. I've been getting a lot of people who ask me why I eat white rice rather than brown rice. And, you know, they're sending me questions like, well, I thought brown rice was better for you. It's higher in fiber and lower on the glycemic index. So, you know, why are you eating that stuff? And it all goes back to a principle known as glycemic load. Everybody goes off of the glycemic index. What the glycemic index does is it tells you how rapidly nutrient converts to sugar and raises your insulin levels. So it's on a time curve. Glycemic load actually includes the amount of carbohydrates in the calculation, right? So you're looking at the amount of that particular macronutrient in the food you're eating. So when you're looking at white rice versus brown rice, they both have the same amount of carbohydrates per serving. So they both have the same glycemic load. The glycemic index, on the other hand, just tells you how rapidly they're going to go into your bloodstream. Now, why do I eat white rice specifically? Well, I eat white rice because, one, I like the taste better, but two, it digests a lot easier in my stomach. Brown rice really sits there, and so I have a hard time eating often, and you know, sometimes if I could eat once a day, I'll eat once a day, and there's nothing really wrong with that scientifically, but I like to try to get more meals in per day to get more calories because I'm naturally a skinny fuck. And so I choose white rice. Now, for those of you who are trying to delineate what you should take from this, well, when you're looking at the foods you eat, and you rate them by glycemic index, a food such as carrots would be a poor food because it's really high on the glycemic index. On the other hand, when you look at the glycemic load, there's not very many carbohydrates in carrots. So for you to avoid eating carrots while you're on a diet is kind of asinine because there's not very many carbohydrates and not very many calories. Same thing with foods like fruit. A lot of people avoid fruit because they're really high on the glycemic index. But when you look at the glycemic load, there's not as much carbohydrate in, say, an apple as there is in a potato. There's about half the amount of carbohydrates in a similar serving. So when we're looking at these things, you really do want to consider glycemic load. And this is a big piece of what all of you who are following flexible dieting and if it fits your macros should be looking at. Don't avoid food simply because they're high on the glycemic index. Look at the macronutrient content, look at the glycemic load, and calculate that into whether or not it's a good food for you to eat. This is Chris Albert, Warrior Soul Apparel. You guys got any questions for me, hit me up at gettingshredded@gmail.com.